The first conversation you have with your spouse about money, the first conversation. That's hard, especially if you've been together for a while and you're in the habit of not talking about it. That first conversation is rough. So I'm going to give you some hacks on how to get started with that. The first one is your self-work. Before you do anything new, you got to get ready to do it. You have to get alignment in yourself about staying in a positive place and setting very clearly your intention. If your intention is to talk to your spouse about money so that your money will be better for both of you, the conversation is going to go well. If you're honest with yourself and your intention is,
I want to have a conversation with that jerk so I can bring up every single thing that didn't go right that I'm still holding anger about.
that not gonna work, not gonna work. So you have to be very clear about your intention, and then you need to do whatever it is you do to reinforce your own self-talk about, I'm gonna do this because I love this person and I want our marriage to work. I'm gonna do this so that I'm as strong as I can be going into it, and I'm going to do this so that I have positive energy around setting up the conversation. So that's kind of step one. Step two is I published a book and workbook that you can get, and it outlines a process of what you do to set up regular conversations about money. Read that before your first conversation with your spouse because it gives you a sense of where you're going. The first conversation is not the only one you're ever going to have. Talking about money is a lifelong habit because things change. Your financial life changes. It may be that suddenly it's harder for your spouse to find work, or at least work they want. It may be, and could well be, that one of you is an entrepreneur at heart and wants to go for it. It may be that suddenly one of you starts making more money than the other. That's a big change, and that's especially a big change if the person making more money is the woman. Every one of those things happened to me in pop-ups along the way. I have lived this. I have lived life smacking us in the face when we thought we had a financial plan done, and then, oops, there's another one. And that's not even getting into the planning you need to do for your kids or for your aging parents. I'm going through all this to say you have to be in the habit of money talks so that you know your baseline and you can deal with whatever comes up. All of that starts with the first conversation. So let's talk about the first conversation. It starts with, how do you ask your spouse to have this conversation? I would say, although it's up to you, I don't think it should be intertwined with other things that are pleasurable. I don't think you invite them after a great Sunday morning bout in bed. I don't think you invite them during dinner. I think you catch a moment and say,
You know what? I've been thinking about how our marriage can be as happy as possible for as long as possible. And it's clear to me we'll do better if we do a better job of talking about money. So would you be okay with setting aside half an hour to get started?
you're going to get all kinds of answers. You know your spouse and I don't. There's some chance that they're going to be threatened and say,
No, I've got this under control.
in which case the answer is,
Yeah, and I don't feel that I'm being the best possible partner to you because I don't know. And it feels like I could be a better spouse to you if I knew more about what we were doing and why we're doing it.
it may take a little while to get that first meeting set. That's to be expected. That's okay. It's normal. It's fine. The other thing, you might want to give the link to Granny's book and workbook to your spouse. And the reason I'm saying this is they may have their financial advisor who believes in a certain strategy, and the last thing we want is for their advisor to be threatened. Tell them to go ahead and have their advisors take a look at it so that they know what we're talking about is just opening up the conversation. We are together smashing a taboo that a lot of us didn't even know was a taboo, except that it is. And our advisors need help smashing it as well. So here we go. You've invited your spouse. You've given your spouse the link. You've told your spouse to share it with anyone else they want to share it with so they can all be on the same page. And the first meeting should be about things that are pleasant. Don't start with budgeting, even if you already have budgeting meetings. For these conversations, I want you to consider starting with your dreams, your goals. You have some deep sense of what you want, and sometimes what you want takes money. That's okay. You're allowed to want whatever you want, even if it's embarrassing. You can say,
You know what? One of my goals,
this is one I heard yesterday.
my entire life, I've wanted to take improvisational acting classes. I have no idea why I want to take those, but I really do.
That's okay. That's a dream. That's a goal. That first meeting is really a dream catcher. And so it may take a couple of those first meetings just to get out there what you want, because until you share with each other what you're really looking for in life, hoping for in life, feel responsible for in life, there's no way to start wrapping some numbers around it. And you can't really start talking about the details around money. So that's enough. Your first meeting, keep it short, have a timer, have a reward at the end of the meeting, give yourself some time to shake it off, and then there will be a next step, which I will share with you. But let me say this, I'm so proud of you. Just watching this video is helping to change your mind and your heart. It is your love for your partner that's leading you to this first conversation. And honestly, I can't wait to hear how it goes. Sending you love.